Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first episode of our podcast. My name is Grayson Lamp.
I'm Eric Jackson.
Jeremiah Murphy.
And we are bringing to you our new show, America's National Treasures. Now, this is something that Eric has been wanting to do for quite a bit now, if I'm correct.
Yes. It's something I've had in the works and been wanting to do since 2013, and just haven't quite found the right group of people to do it with, and haven't had the time to do it. So I'm really excited to get it started. Essentially, the goal of America's National Treasures is to rekindle a love for national parks and historic sites, and to bring the beauty of America and the beauty of the nature that surrounds us every day back into our lives and back into people's homes. The goal here is to travel eventually to every national and state park that we can, and just showcase what we've got.
I agree, yes. Currently, we do live in Missouri, so you'll see a lot of Missouri content, or around the area, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Once we are able to venture out more, you will see us in Oregon, Washington, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
California, Connecticut,
Yes.
New Hampshire. We want to travel
Every
all
state.
over the place. Something that I would love to eventually bring in is a hike on the Appalachian Trail.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
agree.
That
I
would
would
be
love
so good and so much fun. And there's so many things that we can do in general that would just really be fun. And the goal is to bring this to you with some information about where we're at and have some fun with it and bring some humor into it as well. We don't want it to just be, this
Boring.
is this, and it is great, and this is why. No, we don't want that. That's boring.
Alright, see you next time. Monotone.
We'll have fun while we're explaining what's going on,
Absolutely.
where we're at. You'll see facts, just perhaps a little joking around.
You might see us do something stupid. Don't do that at home.
Bloopers.
You know?
Mostly stupid.
Mostly stupid.
Now,
Or not.
we did start up a Kickstarter as of recently, which will premiere the same day this episode comes out.
Which should be September 1st, 2020.
Which means go do the Kickstarter now.
It's not out yet, Murphy.
Well, they can
But-
sign up. They can
but
sign
when-
up for the
Yes.
Same difference.
the pre-launch page.
Yeah.
If you do follow our Facebook page, which is America's National Treasures, we did post the Kickstarter link out. But if you don't use Facebook, I will also post it in the Twitter, which our Twitter is, if I can bring it up, at National Gifts.
If you don't use Twitter, we also have Instagram.
Our Instagram is, wow, I am behind the ball here, is America's National Treasures. Shocker.
And if you don't have Instagram, well, you live under a rock.
Or you can just go to our YouTube.
Oh yeah, I know YouTube, but if you don't have YouTube, you also live under a rock.
America's National Treasures.
Of course, I forgot that's what it is.
And if you're looking at doing, like, if you do want to find it on Kickstarter, we'll post the link in every place we can. But if you are on Kickstarter and would like to find it, it is America's National Treasures as well. Natural Treasures. Sorry, that one is slightly different because National Treasures wasn't going to work.
Originally, Natural Treasures was our name we were going to go with, but National Treasures felt more like our goal. Because it's not going to be nature, it's going to be other things and whatnot.
Like, going to different historical sites, one of the things that we were talking about was, down in Texas, it was the USS Lexington.
Yes.
Which Grayson had suggested a week ago, 2 weeks ago, which I think is a great idea. The goal isn't to just showcase the nature side of things, it is to showcase history as well.
And perhaps down the road, we can also do art and whatnot, if you guys are interested in that. Crystal Bridges in Arkansas.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place. I've been there multiple times.
There's, I believe it's, I don't know what it's called, but there's one up in Kansas City that literally has an adult jungle gym throughout the museum.
I know
It's
Branson
amazing.
has one as
You
well.
know me.
Yeah.
I like to play. That sounded a little weird.
Yes, it did, Murph. Yes, it
Just a
did.
little.
Um,
Trying to keep this PG, everybody.
But yeah, the goal here is to bring just the beauty of America, the different places and greatness that we have collectively from ages past and present to the forefront, along with the beauty of this country. Because it is a beautiful country.
Of course.
And I myself, I have traveled a lot of this country. My tally is, I believe, 39 states that I've been to.
That's pretty good.
And actually spent time in. And it's beautiful. Every state has something to offer. Something that, everybody knows about the Grand Canyon, but not everybody gets to visit it.
Exactly.
And
one day,
the ultimate goal here is to bring an understanding and bring that into your home so that you can see it on a more, I want to say, like, casual level.
yeah.
Because you can watch a documentary, you can watch the regular, like, monotone travel channel or the monotone travel blog and not understand it, not get it. And that's what I want to
Not
try
be invested.
Yes.
We want to try and avoid that with this one. We want to actually make it so that our audience and that you, as our audience, feel involved and feel like you're really participating with this. That's the goal.
Which is a big reason we're so big into the social media, is because we want you guys to be involved as much as you can.
Exactly.
With us.
And eventually, when we actually get to the point that we are traveling outside of our local area, meaning our 4-state area, it might be something, and we haven't discussed it quite yet, but it might be worth asking for
Suggestions.
Yeah.
And getting suggestions from the states we're going to
Which
visit.
actually led me a good thing. I was about to say something. If you would like us to go somewhere, anywhere, just put it in the comments of our videos, message us, anything. We will get to that, and we will most likely go.
Eventually, we will get to it. We promise you that.
Absolutely. Something else I want to mention is if you can support the Kickstarter, we will be posting all of our videos will go up on YouTube, which you'll be able to see then. But if you are a member of the Kickstarter, if you have donated $25 or more into the Kickstarter, you will get behind the scenes access to footage, and it'll be uncut, uncensored. Many of us do have, all three of us have horrible language. We're sorry for
Problems
that.
with our language.
We will keep it
This
PG.
is the longest I've been without saying anything bad. I'm kidding, joking.
We will
Mostly.
keep it PG for YouTube, but behind the scenes, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to be said?
Too much dumb stuff.
Exactly, and that's going to be the funny stuff.
Oh, I bet.
But you'll still see funny stuff on the YouTube, funny stuff
Yes,
on the
absolutely.
Facebook.
Cleaner funny stuff.
It's just, and so we don't get age restricted.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's no fun.
Because we do want to share this not only with the older generations, but the younger generations as well. Because we want to foster and build that relationship with our society, with people around this country, regardless of age. We want to help foster a love for this nation, for the beauty of it, for the nature, for the history, and things like that. There's so much to learn and so much to see around this country that it's mind-boggling.
One thing we do have planned, not just national stuff, but since October's coming up, we've talked about doing stuff that's haunted. The Missouri State Penitentiary, which is doing a tour September 25th, we're thinking about going to.
Oh, yeah.
You will bring our video, we'll take photos, and you will see everything that is haunted. Hopefully.
It's going to be fun.
And
Enjoy.
that will be something that definitely we will want to share with you guys for sure.
Because a lot of us, the thought of haunted stuff, ghosts, whatnot, we're all very skeptical, but we're all very open to the idea.
Yeah, it's just fun
And
to go and see.
exactly. The whole
Get a little
point,
spook.
exactly, the whole point of doing this is to feel fear and so on and so forth.
Makes the blood pump, you know?
Now, as of today, which was today, just so everyone else knows, is the 30th of August, we actually went out and recorded and videotaped our first giant thing of content. We went to the falls, and we went to the Diamond Grove Prairie. Both places had really good scenery.
We got so much footage, so
Which-
many photos.
which you will see on at the Facebook America's National Treasures and Twitter at National Gifts. So make sure to follow that. You will see probably most of the same things, but there's stuff I will put on every on one and not put it on the other.
And then we'll post them on Instagram as well, because he keeps forgetting that.
Instagram.
I keep forgetting Instagram.
But this is our first episode. This is our first real go at this. We are so excited to get this off the ground.
Exactly.
So
Now,
cool.
as of what you're probably seeing this video, we have video footage of when we went to Carver, which we haven't done yet. We'll be doing that tomorrow, the 31st. Now, I've been there a lot.
I have to.
Been there a couple times.
And I love going there every time. It's something new, not new, but it seems different every time you go.
It's a beautiful, beautiful walk through the woods. The whole walk through the park takes about for me it takes about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was my wife.
Oh dear. Oh no.
It takes about 30 minutes to get through the park. So it's really not a long walk.
No.
But it is easy to get out there and spend time and just relax
It's beautiful.
and listen to the sounds and everything. It is a beautiful place. It's also a great place if you like playing Pokemon Go. Just saying.
Oh yes. If you want to stay on your phone all day.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, with us recording tomorrow, we won't have the specific gear we need. We're currently trying to get body cameras and other things, more cameras, much more equipment, so we can go do other things.
Yeah.
So, because as of tomorrow, we'll be using one camera and one.
One camcorder.
Yeah, so that's all we got
And
currently.
while they are good, they
Could be better.
could be better.
Exactly.
They're not the worst camera I've ever used, for sure.
So unfortunately, with our first real video, you're not going to get the best quality, but you'll at least still. What's the word I'm looking for? You'll still get the feeling,
Experience.
Yes.
experience.
Yeah.
You'll still get to see it. You'll still get to be a part of it.
Oh yeah.
If the park allows it, which I don't know what's going on currently in their situation because of COVID-19, the situation with going inside the museum portion.
So from what I saw, because I just looked it up, from what I saw, it actually looks like the museum is closed.
Yeah.
Which, that takes away a lot of the information and a lot of the things we can learn from
sucks.
it. But there are a lot of outdoor plaques that you can read, that you can see.
Yeah.
Um,
On the trail.
the park itself is a gorgeous park, and I would love to bring more information into it, which I will be looking up some more information about the park itself. And
Which, right after this is done, we will take over the audio portion of what you're going to be hearing about information and whatnot about the park will be right after this.
Yep.
Same video.
absolutely. But the ultimate goal here is just to have fun and to travel this country and bring you guys along with us. I think and this is, like I said, this has been a thing for me since 2013. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And the goal has always been to just bring the beauty of this country into people's homes and to share it with people. And that's the best part about traveling is the experience you have with those you're traveling with and with those you meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Today we met a gentleman. I'll say he's total hippie, but he was a super nice guy.
Interesting sort.
Interesting sort. But
Good sort.
we had some good conversations with him, and then we met a younger kid who was jumping off the falls where we like to jump off of, and so I got to jump with him a couple times and had some fun there.
We also did, which you'll see some photos of it down the line, he did some snorkeling.
Yes, I did snorkeling. That was fun.
And we saw, and funny enough, with a lot of people around, we still saw a good amount of wildlife. Dragonflies, and we saw other things. I saw a few fish, actually.
Yeah.
And
did too.
I didn't get to take any photos of them, unfortunately, but I did get a lot of dragonflies, which we'll be posting to, as I said, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
I will
All
say
that.
the water was really, really murky today because it just rained a lot yesterday, and every time it rains like that, it mucks up the water. It stirs up all the
it's
sediment.
unfortunate.
And just you're going to see more of the falls once that clears up, and everything settles out. You're gonna see more,
Oh,
and it's beautiful
It's one of our
when
favorite
it's at its
spots
best.
to go, so
Yes.
you'll probably see a bit of it.
There is actually, and we've discussed this before, there is actually over at the falls, which for those of you who don't know, it's the Grand Falls, Grand Falls Plaza, Grand Falls,
Yeah.
in Joplin, Missouri. Beautiful place, but there is an island that's just up from the falls in the river that is large enough to potentially camp at, and we've discussed potentially camping on that island for a bit.
Which you'll see.
Yeah.
Well, and also in that we'll discuss our gear in case you are interested in what we have, what we bring. So you'll find it at your local academy, Walmart, wherever we go.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's kind of it.
this has gone through so many iterations.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
We've been
Should
sitting
I-
here.
We're only
Should I-
semi-professionals. It's fine.
Should I go through the list of names I've had for this?
Exact. Yes, please.
Okay. So essentially, this started as, oh gosh, I can't even remember the first name I had for it. The most recent name that I had for it, aside from America's National Treasures and Natural Treasures, which was Natural Treasures, was Murphy's idea. I thought
Yes.
that was great. But America's National Treasures is the most recent adaptation, and it's the one we stuck with. Prior to that, it was Travels with Dragons, because my gamer tag is eDragon, and it's so my last name is Jackson. The dragon is spelled with a J as opposed to a D. Everybody gets confused with it. I understand, but it was Travels with Dragons. I thought it was going to take off, but I was doing it by myself, and I didn't find the joy in it as much as I should have because I was struggling to do it by myself.
Traveling alone is not as fun as traveling with people you enjoy.
Exactly.
And luckily, with where we are, we have a lot of friends, a lot of people we usually talk to on a daily basis that would love to do what we're doing. So with videos we put out here in the local area, you'll see some guests that we bring along.
Oh yeah.
A lot of guests that we have talked to for years.
Oh
Yeah.
Good friends.
Eventually, you'll see my wife because we want to get her away from her factory.
Yeah, factory business, man.
Factory work is
It
hard
is
work.
hard.
And she needs a break, and I think that's if we do go on the 25th to the Missouri State Penitentiary,
Be a good
she'll
break
be
for-
along with.
Near your
Oh, yeah.
anniversary as well.
Yeah, it's
Look
a
at
few
that.
days before my anniversary with mine and my wife's, and that'll be our second year. That'll be
Second
2
year.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I wish I could. I
Right.
wish I could have a relationship for
Yeah,
2
me
years.
too, man.
I've got years on both
Gosh.
of those, so
Dang, man.
Now-
it's really
How
funny.
rude.
When you're younger, and I don't know if you guys ever thought this, but when you were younger, you think, oh man, when I get older, I'm gonna have all these friends that are my own age.
I never thought that.
All of my friends are younger than me.
But not by a lot.
I'm turning 26.
Now,
You just turned 21. And
well, I'm turning 22,
I'm
but
about to turn 20.
yeah, so there's a good age discrepancy there that, like, there's stuff that I recognize, like, okay, what ASDIF movie came out when you were in high school?
shit.
Wait.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah, because the first one came out when I was in high school, like, my sophomore year.
Back on topic.
All
Now-
of the
Quick
old
hand.
memes, all of the old memes came out, like the really
The
good
really good
high
ones.
class.
Oh, of course.
Came out when I was in high school, and it's really funny for me to see younger kids use them, and they go, "That's so old," and I have no idea what the new memes are. I don't.
I just want to point out you're older than me, but my hair's graying more than you.
Well, that's because you have a high stress everything.
Oh, of course.
Me.
But let's back on topic.
Yes.
Now, with the travel, with everything we're going to travel and whatnot, we're going to do much other things as well. Like we thought about going to paintballing sometime.
Oh,
If we
yeah,
see a
paintball.
paintball area,
Airsoft.
airsoft,
Everything.
whatever works. I mean, if we see anything,
Fun activities.
Exactly.
Speaking of paintball, something we could do is Oklahoma has a massive D-Day.
yes, I was going to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
know
if they're
about that. It's
currently
so cool.
doing it. Is the thing.
Because of COVID.
Well, no. Someone actually got into a lot of trouble.
Oh.
Well, medically.
Of course, someone
So,
had to get hurt. And
we
ruin
don't-
for everybody else.
Either this is its last year or next year.
Aww.
So, if you would like to see us do that, please support the Kickstarter.
Yes.
And hopefully we can.
Hopefully we can, because of
Um,
COVID-19.
So fun.
That is something, and I hope it doesn't get canceled,
No.
because it's such a massive event. A few years back, I worked at a gas station. I worked overnights, and I saw people early in the morning going to the paintball event, because it is a massive paintball event. They were going there, and I got off. I went home. I slept. I watched my nephew. I got up and I went back to work that night, and they were coming back to their hotels at like 10 in the evening.
Yeah,
it's
it's
And
a
they
whole...
were-
day.
They were stopping by and saying hi to me, and they're like, "Did you go home?" And I was like, "Yes, I did. I'm starting a new shift."
Yes, D-Day is an all-day event.
Yes.
And it is
Well,
awesome.
it's an all-week event.
all-week event, yes.
I mean, they do stuff all through that
Oh
week.
gosh.
And it is amazing, and it all
I
leads
so
up
wanna
to
do
the major celebration, the major event, which is a massive paintball thing, to the point where people even bring out homemade tanks for paintball.
I've seen those, and
It's
they're
yeah.
nice.
so cool.
I actually went
Videos are so cool.
I actually went driving down there
Yeah.
a few years ago, and I saw the tanks, and they were beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
and that's just one thing, one portion of something that we can do if we're able to continue to do this, and that's our goal.
Mhm.
Is we want to continue to do this. This is something that we love, we're passionate about, and we want to share that. We want
Yeah.
to bring that with us onto the screen, and help build and foster that passion with our audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, with the podcast and the videos, podcast and videos will not be together usually like this. Once we start out, it's going to be together, but once we get better gear,
Better
Body
audio
key,
equipment.
yes.
Separated, yeah.
they're going to be separated, especially with the podcast, and we've discussed this when we go to different parts of the country. We're going to have road trip podcasts where we talk
Yeah.
about random stuff.
Where we've been. We won't give away too much information on. Like we'll do it after we've gone somewhere. We'll put out the podcast and we'll discuss like kind of where we've been, what we did there, but not too much detail because we want you to see it in the video.
Yes.
But it'll generally be something like we're doing right now, where we are discussing general information, kind of having having fun talking with you guys.
The podcast, as with the road trip one and the one we're doing right now, will be split. We're gonna have with the road trip one. I assume would be more off topic
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and just
It'll-
random stuff.
it'll and
That
something.
might have to be in the uncensored, honestly.
Well,
oh
it's a
goodness.
The podcasts don't matter.
Jeez.
And it's something that we
Oh,
can
yeah,
do
that's right.
while we're driving. One of our goals is to eventually save up to get an RV, which we
Oh,
really
yeah.
want to do.
That'd be so
Because-
cool.
If we can get an RV, then we can record while we're driving.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And just
It's a
record the
dream.
conversations we have while we're driving down the road to the places we're going to film.
While we're also camping around a campfire, we'll do it as well if we
Yeah,
can.
Yeah.
And if we have to, which will be very rare, take a hotel room. We'll be able to record in one hotel
Yes.
room as long as we're not making enough noise to bother everybody else. But who really cares at this point? Everyone makes a lot of noise in a hotel room.
Basically.
Yeah.
That kid
It's
all
not the worst
screaming.
noise you could hear in a hotel room.
This will not be the worst audio yet.
Yeah.
I will say I'm excited for campfire philosophy.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I think we need to make that a segment for every time we go somewhere and we're camping. We need to have a campfire philosophy podcast.
I agree.
I don't know. That's the whole
That's
thing.
fair.
Is you can't judge what you're going to talk about when you're sitting around a campfire. I used to do literally every other day through the summer. I used to do a bonfire at my house because I love it. Because you get a bunch of people together, you sit down, you talk, you have fun, you eat s'mores, or you just generally have a good time.
Yeah.
You get people to play bocce, you do stupid stuff, nothing too dangerous because you're around a fire.
Yeah. That fire's
Um,
dangerous.
Now, most likely with this campfire philosophy and whatnot and stories, you're going to hear a lot about our personal stories.
Yes.
No.
I have a lot. I've told you a lot, Murphy.
You told me some things.
I've told you some very interesting stories around the
Yeah.
campfire when we smoked hot dogs. Not smoked
I
hot
have
dogs, we
some
roasted hot dogs.
Yeah, I have some stories from back when I was in Boy Scouts that I could tell.
I have some great stories. One of those stories is about how my wife and I got reintroduced together,
Interesting.
and that's a campfire philosophy story.
I have one, and I've told you about it, and I'm not going to get into much detail on here about one of the most dangerous nights of my Boy Scout career.
Yeah, I know about.
Now comes the portion of our show where we discuss this beautiful monument that we're at right now. The George Washington Carver National Monument occupies 240 acres of historical farmland in Diamond, Missouri. In honor of George Washington Carver, who was born to an enslaved mother and towards the end of the Civil War. He spent much of his childhood with his brother Jim as orphans at the Moses Carver farm. From his birth in 1965 until 1976, Moses Carver and his wife Susan originally owned the farmstead on which they raised livestock and cultivated orchards and grew corn among other crops. George stayed and worked on the farm until he was about 11. When not working, he collected plant specimens from the nearby woods and developed an appreciation for nature. After his time on the farm, he left and began to go to school in nearby Neosho, Missouri, walking a very familiar path for many of us who live in this area. We've been down it. I used to have to drive down it every day because it's where my parents live. It's a very twisty, curvy, dangerous road, but at the time, it would have only been traveled by horse and buggy, so it wasn't quite as bad. But he would walk miles to get to school every day so that he could get an education. After his time studying in Neosho, he left for Fort Scott, Kansas, and practiced homesteading for a couple of years. And after that, he decided he wanted to go back to school, and he attended Simpson College to study art. After his time studying art, he transferred to what is now Iowa State College, where he received a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, being the first Black American student of Iowa State. And he received his degrees in agriculture. In 1896, Booker T. Washington offered Carver the position as the head of agriculture at I can never say this. Tuskegee College, where he taught for 47 years. With Carver's teaching, Southern farmers learned of practices such as organic farming, crop rotation, and sustainable agricultural practices. After Carver's death in 1943, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed a piece of legislation allowing for the creation of the beautiful monument we now see. George Washington Carver National Monument is the first national monument established to honor a Black American, making it very significant. While we were there, we had a blast. Did you guys have any thoughts or feelings you want to add to this before we wrap this up?
It was super fun. As we mentioned before, we've done a lot there. We've been there many times. I've been there since second grade, or I've been going there since second grade, and every time I go there, it's always different. We saw a lot of really interesting things. We all goofed around. You'll see it in the video, hopefully.
Yeah.
Eric has decided to climb on a lot of things.
I like to climb on things. What can I
It's
say?
fun.
Unfortunately, while we were there, it was very sunny.
Very sunny. It made it hard to get some good footage because we just had oversaturation of light. But
Some of the photos came out really well.
some of them really did.
We got some beautiful photos, some decent video. It's a little shaky, but
I love heading out there. Now, I've only been going out there since 2018. I was driving home from work one day, and I didn't want to go home, and so I was driving through Diamond, and I pulled off and went down to George Washington Carver National Monument and decided to take a look around because I had never been there. And it became a regular thing for me and my brother. And like you said, Grayson, every time we're out there, it was different, and we were going there sometimes every other day. And we were going out and we were spending hours out there just walking and talking and enjoying the tranquility of the area. It is a very, very beautiful and serene location.
Oh, yeah.
And now they've updated all of their benches. They've put in new benches across the entire park and the nature trail. So like it's a really good place to just go out and sit and relax and be in nature and just.
I will apologize up before that the video is shaky.
Oh yeah, no, this video is so shaky because we have yet to get a steady cam, and
walking is hard when you try to keep it steady.
Oh yeah.
Walking on a dirt trail.
Yeah.
For a good portion of it, it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a bit rough, and we're sorry for that. But
luckily, when we do get a steady cam and COVID-19's over, we'll return and go into the museum.
Yes, because that is something that I actually have never done.
It's so fun.
I've never been into the museum.
Now, one thing which you'll see on the Facebook page, because I'll put a video of it, our mic for that camera we have is not bad.
No, it really
is
isn't.
good. Yeah.
That mic is actually, like, it did so well. That's actually really exciting. Murph, any thoughts?
No, it's just a very beautiful park. There's a couple different streams and stuff that are just gorgeous to look at and sit by. It was just a really fun time.
Murph and I tried to get a good picture of a crawdad that we saw on the street.
Yeah, there was a crawdad on a rock, but man, the sun and the water was just not cooperating.
We got it kind of. Like, you could see it. It was there, but it's so washed out by the light reflecting off the water.
I did get a photo of, you guessed it, more dragonflies.
Oh yeah, on my boot.
One of my favorite photos. You'll see it eventually. And the video I'm talking about with when we went to Carver and talking about the mic, you'll see it in probably the next few days.
Yep.
Yeah,
once it gets trimmed out.
It's a good one.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah, just to close, the George Washington National Monument honors the legacy of George Washington Carver, and it gives visitors the opportunity for reflections, for some peace, some tranquility, some solitude. And it's a good opportunity to learn about one of the greatest pieces of, like, one of the greatest people in history. Like, there's so much we can learn from Carver. He established so many practices in agriculture that we still use to this day. He is a huge part of why we haven't had a second Dust Bowl. His teachings, his practices are huge in the agricultural industry. It's a great place to visit, and I personally strongly encourage you, if you ever get the opportunity, to visit it and take your time to walk through and enjoy it and really, really learn from all of the plaques, all of the information that they have there. Visit the museum. Even though I haven't been there, I can guarantee it is full of good information. It is a wonderful place to visit.
With this show, we will give you information about the parks and whatnot, but we will not give you the full experience. For the full experience, you have to go see it yourself.
That's for you to go find out.
Yes.
We'll give you our experience, but it'll be a different experience for you guys at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with that, do we have anything else to say?
No. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please, stay tuned for more. We want to see everybody again. We definitely want you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, where we'll post shorter videos. We'll post pictures of everything that we take photos of along the way. Maybe some short snippets.
Yeah.
With this, because this is coming out on the day that our Kickstarter launches, if you get a chance to go support the Kickstarter, you will actually get access to behind-the-scenes footage, uncut,
good
raw
stuff.
There's
footage.
a lot of good
The
stuff.
really
from
good
recordings
stuff,
we
yeah.
have.
Us just being general idiots, no big deal.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of us insulting each other.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, we are very self-deprecating.
Oh, yeah.
Me goofing around, acting like a monkey in a tree.
It's great. It's a good time.
But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, please stay tuned for more. We're gonna try and produce at least a video every couple of weeks right now, and once we get more into this, we'll try and get a video out every week. Thanks so much.
We'll see you in the next video.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.